We are number 1 in bars, number 2 in muesli, and number 3 in oats. Food is really hard. Like it is, and the gross margins are not like personal care. So you need to create products that have very high repeat rates. A Rolex ad just makes you feel rich. They'll have a particular kind of car or a Louis Vuitton or whatever, right? Like brands don't sell products, they sell feelings. We sell something called a protein mini bar that has 4 grams of protein, just about enough protein as an egg. Like my kid eats, I count the protein that I have for my kid, and every kid wants some indulgence. Yeah, you can't like make them eat healthy all the time.
It's Nikhil,
Nikhil Kamat's podcast, right? Like what's his name? Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson. Yeah.
So there's a whole Netflix series on his, thing of how he defies age and everything, right? And now, while I know a lot of Indians who look younger than him at that age, brothers who recently fought Mike Tyson, right? Like, so they're the founders of the Prime drink, but they are hyper energy active people. Like you will see them. They have a show now of the entire family, and you will see how they could definitely have been the ones who were Red Bull's ambassadors. So it made. And they launched their own drink called Prime. And then you have like a film star or like a beauty influencer. It seems natural that they should do cosmetics.
If anybody has ever reached out to a bar for health, it has to be Yoga Bar. What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Just Curious. Cutting it straight into the conversation. I do have the honor and the pleasure of re-hosting the founder of Yoga Bar, a curious soul, a good daughter, a mother who's still figuring things out, maybe?
Yes.
And yes, here we have Suhasini Sampath.
Thanks.
Welcome to Just Curious English. Suhasini, what's up? How are you?
Good, Rashmi. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you.
Year
Same
after
here.
another year, but like it's so nice to see just how everyone's life is unfolded. So happy that you got me on the show.
Talking about time and timing, with somebody of your stature and the way you've looked at life, as on 2025, how is it going? What are you looking forward to?
I think it was another 1 year since the transaction will fully complete with ITC. So ours was a staggered acquisition for Yoga Bar. So the transaction completes. So I'm just looking forward to finally taking that holiday I haven't taken for 15 years. Because life has been incredibly busy. Like post-acquisition, it's been like almost like, you start on a treadmill and that's 10 years. And then you really run on the treadmill. That's been the last 3 years. So I'm looking forward to completing that run on the treadmill and achieving my goals and taking some rest. So yeah, really looking forward to the year unfolding.
What got you on the treadmill?
What got me on the treadmill was the fact that there was an opportunity in India and there was no company selling healthy food. And it came from the heart, right? Like I think Anandita and me were both at we were at the Flatiron building doing Bikram yoga class.
Right.
And when we came down from the studio, I remember Anandita used to go and buy a kind bar. There used to be this Trader Joe's or something right opposite, and she would go get a kind bar. And one day she remarked that if I had a bar in India, I would call it Yoga Bar. And she just said it casually, but I was like, this is a great idea. And so I came back 2 years earlier than her, kind of laid the groundwork for it, kind of like spoke to people, wondered if a business can be built out of it. And of course, there's the social good of, we're about 400 to 500 people. So it's a large organization. You start off dreaming maybe small, like I'll make this a small business, I'll do something good, I'll create some value in society. But as the years unfold, you realize that you also want to discover your potential along the way. So I feel like why entrepreneurship is a good answer. Many people say it is to make money, but I actually think that's not the reason to do entrepreneurship. It is the place where you're most judged for your ability. Like you get maximum reward for curiosity, right? Like, and I feel curious people who are willing to also do a bit of hard work should definitely do business. Because if you keep finding answers and keep solving problem statements, you keep moving a step forward. And that's really what happened with Yoga Bar. I don't think we started out saying we'll make it this, but now after 12 years where I am, I'm like, I should have thought about making it much larger because the potential exists. Like today, though,
Much larger, as in, what
could have
would you
created.
have done if somebody had given you another chance 12 years ago?
I would have thought about creating one of the largest health food brands to go from India to the world. During my process, even during that acquisition process, the one thing that was consistent and everybody talking to us is everyone said if this brand was in the US, it would have been a very, very large business. So I feel like when you start off, you should think of the first Indian brand that can go global. You should go with that mindset because there's a certain pride in a Indian brand sitting on the shelves of the Whole Foods of the world and the Trader Joe's and the Marks and Spencer in London, and like the Lulus in the UAE market. I think dreaming of it from it truly can be a very, very large Indian brand that can sit on
Right.
any shelf anywhere in the world. And I think that should have been the way we should have thought about it.
But do you actually think the timing would have been right then? Because today, I guess the world has opened up to India in a different
Yeah,
way, right?
yeah. I think one doesn't know until one tries. You only
Ah.
solve for something when you think it's possible. If you think something is not possible, you won't even try to solve it. I actually think it was possible because today we've opened export markets like Nepal, Maldives, and Yoga Bar has market share. We are at number one or number two in bars in all these countries. So if it can work, and in Maldives, in some Kona Kopchi, like what do you they have these um, resorts.
Hmm.
Like in one remote resort in some remote island, there were a couple of stores, and when we went for a store visit, it had reached that, and they had kept it on the front. Whenever a retailer keeps the products right on the front of the shelf or on the cash till, that product really sells. So
Hmm.
without having even a single salesperson, we had done well. So it really seems like Yoga Bar was a global name. Like it wasn't. It's something that could globally have sold. It's not too Indian. Yoga is one of the gifts that India has given the world. So and we used a lot of ancient grains, right? Like we used a lot of millets. We used a lot of stuff like jowar, bajra, ragi, etc. in the bars, and
This
and they have
is
grown in India.
this is when you all started, right?
The first product that we launched, which was the chocolate chunk snack bar, is still our largest selling SKU. And that's the bar that sells really well even in all of these countries.
Hmm.
Like today in India, after like so many food influencers, people say like turn the back of pack and read ingredients in descending order. Yoga Bar used to say this back in the day. Like when we launched, we used to have a packet that say, like when you order online, it would have this thing written on it saying that go ahead, rip me open, I have nothing to hide.
Oh,
So that was our line, right? In like 2014.
wow.
So yeah, I mean, we used to use all of these amaranth, jowar, bajra, ragi, all of that, which is native to India. So and our first set of customers used to actually be foreigners who used to come to India, and because it used to massively, a lot of retailers used to buy it from Amazon and stock it, like in Goa, in Haridwar, and all of that. And we used to get inbound emails. Like I used to get one email every week saying, "We found this bars here. We would love to export it into our country." Like we
Oh,
got some order for some Uzbekistan and like some Latin American countries back in the day because people would just come to India and find these products and just totally really love it.
wow. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
what started as the conversation started as, you getting on a treadmill,
Yeah.
now starting on a treadmill for the first 10 years, and
Yeah.
now you started running for the last 2
Yeah.
years, is what
Yeah.
metaphorically gave it
Yeah.
as a story.
Yeah.
But initially, did you think it was going to be a treadmill at all?
See,
Did you think this will come this far?
yeah.
Right?
See, when you start something, no, you should always start with the mindset as I'm solving for today. It can be extremely, it can overwhelming if you start thinking about having to do this really long journey. You have to focus on the now. Like you focus on today, you focus on what needs to get done today. So what we used to do very well is we used to have a task list for the day and what we wanted to accomplish this month.
Mm-hmm.
And by seeing small steps, we would see the journey unfold. If we kind of like had very grand plans, I think we would just get very overwhelmed. We broke it down to like, यहाँ listing करना है. You have to do these many, images. You need to make sure that the website has this new product. We would break it down into a task list. And breaking it out into a task list made it almost like writing an exam, which we were quite good at. So it would just be like, get these 10 things done. But we would ensure that whatever we set out to do for the day, we would accomplish. We wouldn't leave without finishing what we set out to do for the day.
So initially when you all started, right? Today it's a big brand. Today it's a name, probably the first mover, right?
Yeah.
It's a synonym to a health bar today.
Yeah.
But आपका पहला जो था, like 10 things to do, like did you all have the clarity as to हाँ इसको ऐसे navigate करना है, इसको ऐसे लेके जा सकते हैं करके वो सब था आपके मन में पहले से ही, मतलब what were the first 10 to do's you cracked for Yoga Bar?
So Rashmi, I'll just rewind you to the time when we started. When we started Yoga Bars, Flipkart was valued at about like $1 billion or $2 billion. Like Flipkart was fundraising. So we were very early in the whole, there was the Urban Ladders, the Zivames of the world. There was just the first rung of startups that were beginning to get funded, right? Like we were very early. Like today money is available. There is quick commerce. There are easier ways to do business. When we started business, there was no quick way to reach the customer. You had to do proper offline retail. You had to be in a kirana store because modern trade used to have huge listing fees. You had to, investors were not dime a dozen. So you had to get a couple of angels to invest in your business. And then there is the actual, what was different though then was that it was much cheaper to set up business. Like rent though 20,000 rupees, maybe had our first factory at a 20,000 per month rent. Our first set of people who joined us were all like people who are just passed out of, like graduates or less than graduates, who were all motivated people and liked it because we all became a family. Like they're all still in the company, by the way. Like my person who first started by drawing the accounts and he didn't even speak English is now running my finance,
Wow.
So, and we never hired above him. So because he's quite brilliant. It's just that other people might not recognize it, but because when you start off with like 5 people and everybody's working in such close quarters, everyone understands what is the potential of everybody else. The other guy who joined as an office boy is now like our head purchase manager.
Wow.
There's also a lot of trust because you've seen people for 14 years, so you
also they've been there with you the most crucial time.
Yeah. You also end up setting the culture with the first set of people. So people always felt like, we were always extremely careful with other people's money and our own. That seemed to be a value system. Like we didn't have a fancy, whatever was basic, like we had a basic chair, basic computer. We never overspent on things. We kept it, for the longest time, for a few years actually, Anandita and me never took a salary. We would keep things very, very
organized, clean.
And
watch every penny that you're spending.
Yeah. And that seemed to, and because that mirrored also the way we lived personally, it's set up as a culture. Your employees watch everything, like you can't be the person who's super flamboyant and then expects the company to run on a tight shoestring budget. That doesn't work, especially when you have just a close group of people running the company, right? Like a lot of your personal values translate into business values when you are a very, very small organization. I think we got a lot of that right. I think we generally, I think all our partnerships, that one thing I will say from the heart is none of our partnerships left anyone bitter. Like we always ended up doing partnerships where both parties gained.
What was the secret sauce?
I think you do it to a point where it's fair to both people. Like you don't give too much and you don't take too much. Or you just give about enough and you take just about enough, whichever way you look at it, right? Like we had developed the secret art of making sure that whether it's our retailers, whether it's, our customers, whether it's our employees, whether it's our investors, we had the equation just right, So I don't know how we do it, but intuitively we try to take it to a point where it's fair to both parties. So
who does all the closures in terms of partnerships? You?
Mostly me, yeah.
Can you walk us through the initial days of how the partnerships were cracked, the distribution network and all of that? How did you put the blueprint out there?
So Initially, as I was telling you, like today, if you were doing business, you would start off with quick commerce because that's the easiest way to reach your customer. But back in the day, what we would do is I would actually sit outside, and that time it was Future Group, it was Reliance, it was a couple of the big people, and then it was the neighborhood kirana store, right? For the neighborhood kirana store, we actually hired a very senior person who was heading the South India sales for a similar health company, and he helped to all the mistakes that were made, like don't overstock to the extent that you can't actually sell. You need to stock the shelf just enough that there is only 1 month of sale. In GT, so the secret sauce to GT is you need to stock the shelf enough to generate sales and visibility, but not in excess such that returns come back to you, and the retailer cannot, like, is left with huge expiry products, right? And our shelf life at that point of time was just like 2 or 3 months.
So what was your first batch like, Like, how are you getting in your numbers, right? So these are my vendors, this is the network, and this is how much I must produce, and how are you testing the waters?
So everything used to be done on Excel, and people would input the Excel data. So there's a team of 5 people, and we had a sales head who then hired. So we went city by city, actually. We went to Bangalore. We went to the first 100 stores in Bangalore. Then we found somebody in Bombay, a really good hire. We did 100 stores in Bombay. And then, then we did Delhi, and we did 100 stores in Delhi. Onboarding. So the onboarding is usually a very structured approach. You have people with experience in GT. You will have the distributor contacts coming from pre-existing relationships. And with every distributor, you have routes. Like each distributor will have a set of, they'll have their own sales team, and you will reimburse half the cost depending upon how many brands that particular distributor has taken. So suppose there's a distributor who's doing, say, Hindustan Lever products and your product. So he will have 5 manpower who go a particular route of stores. You have to reimburse him some cost for doing that distribution for you.
So basically what this guy does is like the pygmy guy. He goes with a notebook.
Yeah.
He basically goes and takes the order ki kitna chahiye aapko, kya chahiye. So is it what happens?
Yes. The time when we started, but now of course there are tools. You have Bizom, and you have a lot of tools. You have sales automation tools that now do it. Now
So
everyone takes it on the app.
Oh yeah? They just put a number and
You just enter it, and the company just gets the order. So the orders are all punched in and when you go to a store, all the stores are mapped onto an app. The person punches in an order, you will get the statement, and the replenishment to the related distributor happens automatically.
Cool.
So you had a set of GT stores. Modern trade is larger relationships because they give you, on the day of launch, they give you like 50 stores or 100 stores or whatever.
Sorry, what's modern trade?
Modern trade are chains like Reliance, D-Mart, Lulu, Ratnadeep,
So all your supermarkets.
Yeah.
The big, the fancy.
Basically chains. Chain of stores. A chain of stores is called modern trade. Namdaris, all of them, right? So you go, you speak to them. Sometimes they don't speak to you. You sit outside their office until they speak to you. So all of that used to happen.
Yeah.
Then you negotiate the margins. You tell them which products you want. First they'll put you in 10 stores. Then they'll expand to 50 stores and all of that. But today, of course, it's gotten much easier because they've also seen me now for this. I mean, almost every other person whom even my sales team meets in modern trade will say I've interacted with Suhasini at some point in time. So it's obviously become a very... there are only those many people in modern trade because they also circle between, like somebody who leaves one modern trade will probably join another modern trade chain. So it's a close set of people. So they've all seen me too for the last 10 or 15 years. So modern trade was a channel that I used to handle.
Got it. So one is your general trade.
Yeah, one is your modern trade.
Modern trade.
And of course you have the Amazons and Flipkarts of the world, which comes under marketplaces, and the quick commerce, which is Swiggy, Instamart and Zepto. And now Flipkart Minutes.
So with the 12 years, you've cracked the distribution. Like, I mean, today what is still driving the market share? Like, what is driving the market?
You have to have market share in every single category of distribution stores. So suppose hypothetically, so we are number 1 in bars, number 2 in muesli, and number 3 in oats. It has to mirror that in every single channel. Like in modern trade, in most modern trade stores, it will mirror that. Like Yoga Bar will be the number 1 bar, muesli, and then you very closely track competition. So if there's a new product that's come and the retailer's telling you like the feedback on the product is good and it's a category that you are operating in, you have to innovate, create a product equally good to make sure like customers move to new formats quite quickly.
How quickly?
This year, that process has become 3 months. When I started Yoga Bar, that process used to be 1.5 years.
Like for a habit change to happen, it used to be like 1.5 years.
And that because we were the only brand. Today, there are dime a dozen brands, and there are brands launching every. It seems to me, and I try to tell entrepreneurs this, it's the worst category to actually get into, because bars are a very, very, very difficult category.
What changed? What happened there? Like, why is that you had a blue sky initially and now it's so crowded?
It was never a blue sky. Like food businesses in general are really hard. Like personal care is easy. Like there you have a dozen manufacturing centers and you have 70% gross margin. Food is not like that.
Yeah.
Like Anandita and me have literally designed the machines, set up our manufacturing hub. We've done, and now of course we moved from a 2,000 square feet place to now like a 100,000 square feet place and all of that. And it's a fully automated machine line and all of those things. But food is really hard. Like it is, and the gross margins are not like personal care. So you need to create products that have very high repeat rates
How do you do that?
by creating exceptional products at very good value to consumers. So why we are still we might be the first people who entered the category, but we are also the most affordable in the category. We give true value, like whether all the suppliers have been integrated in a way in which it's all done at the right price point. Our operations are integrated in a way in which there is no wastage. Therefore, we're able to pass the best prices to the consumers. If you have a very, very strong operations, you will be able to actually generate a lot of value for your consumer.
So it's like there you can save all the buck. I mean, so that there are no thick margins
Yeah.
passed on. No, not thick, what do you call the
Fair.
gaps?
Everything has
Yeah.
to be fair. Yeah.
Ah.
Because you want long-term relationships with everyone.
So now, how is the consumer market today? Because they're more educated,
Yeah.
the options are too many,
Yeah.
and the behavior of the consumers are also quite flirtatious, right?
Yeah.
Loyalty is going down.
Yeah.
What is basically inducing this kind of this behavior in the market today, consumer market?
I think consumer brands now can be segregated into brands that cater to like the South Bombays and South Delhis of the world, brands that cater to the middle class, and brands to which the large scale FMCG companies cater to, which transcends everybody, right? Like right from a 5 rupees price point to a like the HULs and ITCs of the world. They start their price points at 5 rupees. There's a 5 rupees chips, there's a 5 rupees noodles, and right up to, whatever the dark fantasies of the world that cater to a certain market, right? What is happening in the startup consumer brands is people are taking their positions. Like there are some brands that only talk to a very elitist India, who you'll never see in a GT or a modern trade store. And there are brands, what worked for a brand like Yoga Bar is, we tried to go increase the TG larger and larger by bringing down offerings that were at a different price point. Our latest offering is actually at $15.
What's that?
We sell something called a protein mini bar that has 4 grams of protein, just about enough protein as an egg. Like my kid eats, I count the protein that I have for my kid, and every kid wants some indulgence. Yeah, you can't like make them eat healthy all the time. And I said, why not give like there are these small bars. You give her a bar. It's full of peanut protein. It's full of sattu. 4 grams of protein delivers protein of 1 egg. So while she has her egg, she also has a snack in the evening, which is also a protein snack. So as you grow down the price chain, you increase the number of consumers you're targeting.
The base goes
larger and larger.
So what started as a linear thing for you all,
Yeah.
now as a horizontal progression.
Yeah. And that's how you truly expand category. You can't expand category because the very, very wealthy people will end up moving to a place where their cooks end up making the bars for them just the way they want it made, right? So I actually feel that you'll have a more loyal base if you go wider and wider.
Now that the latest offering in the market is your mini bar,
Yeah.
constant innovation is very important.
Very critical in this category because you cannot allow market share depletion. Like in food, Like in cosmetics, there might be like 100 brands that are 100 crores. Everybody has small market share. But in food and certain categories, the value comes from being a very large part of that category.
Okay.
Because then your margins are better, the way you negotiate for raw materials is better, and you need that because in food you don't have that much margin to play, and unless you're like a leader in the category, you can't pass the value to the consumer and continue to deliver that value to the
So
consumer.
it's like a catch-22, right?
It's a catch-22.
You need to
Food
have
is an
the
absolute catch-22.
You need to have the market share
Yeah.
also to fight for the better price point.
Yeah.
So it's like till the time you have the market share, you can't give a price point. Till the time
Yeah.
you have a price point which is
Yeah.
good enough, you can't command a big market share.
Yeah. For the first couple of years, you probably have to bite the bullet on the gross margin and slowly improve it over a period of time.
What does it mean to you all? Like, how did you all bite the bullet, like, or take the bullet in?
Because we had investors, so a lot of that was funded by venture
So
capitalists.
you all
money.
had the strength to, hold
Yeah.
on with thin margins, or probably even burning.
We were a we are still a loss making company. We'll probably break even in the coming year, but it's when you're building so many categories, whatever money you make from bars, you put it to grow muesli. Now that muesli and bars are now a profitable category, you take that money, grow the next category. We've launched protein shakes, we've launched our new chocolate and rope bars and all of that.
Oh,
So
wow.
you can't, all of these category sizes individually are not that large. So you also, as an innovative company, you're also educating the Indian consumer on the different formats of consuming protein. So now we have protein shakes, and now, we use some of that. Now we've created protein chocolates, we've created protein cookies.
Is this your moat? I mean, you being somebody who was the first mover, right, in the protein and the health bar category.
Yeah.
What's with the market and everybody trying to put in protein on their labels, yeah? Protein curd, protein this, protein that. Like, honestly, tell me what's happening. Why is protein now the big currency of the food market?
Because our protein is the building block for your body. And there's no running away from the fact that people think women don't need protein, but that's absolutely not true. A woman actually needs 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight, right? And if you're a vegetarian like me, how are you going to make up that protein? So you need to have about 55 to 60 grams of protein a day.
Right.
And how many different formats are there to have it? You can have some paneer. You can have, some
soya, like legumes.
dal. And dal has little protein. It's not like dal has about 8 grams of protein and 100 grams, right? So, or 50 grams or whatever. So, you only have those many sources of protein. So, the only way to consume it is you do either, bars or shakes or protein powder and all of that.
So now that we are a conscious
Yeah.
generation, we know what we are eating, and at the same time we know why we are eating
Yeah.
a certain product, right? So I see that, a lot has changed. The power up, the protein shake. So now who is driving the product? What do you call that?
The innovation.
The innovation of the product in
Oh.
the market.
Now, of course, we have a very structured approach to how we go about innovation.
What's that?
We will see market trends in the West. So this new Power Up bar that you see, there was a founder called the RX Bar founder who launched a new bar called David. And the concept is very simple. You deliver 20 grams of protein, the least amount of calories. So 20 grams of protein and 250 calories is insane because the maximum calories that come to you are from the protein itself.
Right.
Which is the best way to actually consume a protein bar. So you have zero sugar, you have only 250 calories, and you have 20 grams of protein. And this innovation was presented by, there's this new brand called David in the US. And we are so abreast with whatever is happening everywhere in the world. And we said, we want to bring the best to India. There's a reason why someone's created, strong reason why you should be calorie conscious, strong reason why you should be consuming a lot of protein. Like a good proof point to say a bar is good is that the maximum calories, the net carbs should be very low. The maximum calories need to come from protein. So you start making indicative check marks on why a certain product that is launched is doing well in a Western market and try to bring that to India.
Who basically controls these trends? Like, is it the West or, yeah, we are the East, but yeah,
Yeah,
West
I would
always?
say for natural food, like indigenous food, like a turmeric powder and all that, is definitely, it comes from India, but it's best marketed in the US. I would say US is sort of like the marketing
Guru, huh?
guru of the world.
In terms of eating healthy?
Um, I
Or,
mean, I don't think they are
yeah, because they have the largest obese
obesity, right? But
population, yeah.
the healthy people are very healthy.
It's the extreme, huh?
It's the extreme. Like, you know, the guy who came to India, right? Who met everybody. What's his name?
Walked out of a podcast. That's Nikhil,
Yeah, Nikhil Kamat's podcast, right? Like, what's his name? Brian Johnson or
Brian
something?
Johnson, yeah.
So there's a whole Netflix series on his,
I
thing
saw
of
it.
how he defies
Age.
age and everything, right? And now, while I know a lot of Indians who look younger than him at that age, and who probably are have much better mental health, because to me, I think the secret of really living a long, meaningful life is mental health. I think what we eat and physical health is 20%. I would attribute 80% to community living, relationships, and all of that.
That's what
I
even
think
Ikigai told. I mean,
who?
Ikigai, the book,
Yeah,
the
okay, yeah, the
Japanese,
book,
yeah.
yeah, the Japanese book, yeah,
I think everybody is trying to tell us the same, like, community living, a
yeah.
holistic life, balanced life,
Yeah, of
balanced
course,
meal.
of course. And yeah, but I think the US in general are great marketers. Like, I feel like they will take an idea and really make it seem like it's life changing, right? Like Elon Musk, or like, all of them. They're just extremely free spirited, if there's a better word to put. And free spirited people in general make better marketers, because you're not inhibited by the same stuff that other people in society are inhibited by. We are an inhibited society. Like, Indians care a lot about what other people think. If I had to do a crazy campaign, I would still worry that my mother will call me and shout at me, right? Like, I remember for that simple thing, like, go ahead, I have nothing to hide, go ahead and rip me open. My mother gave me a earful. She's like, what does this mean? Like, it just seems vulgar.
Somebody
right?
is
Like,
getting
yeah.
naughty.
Yeah, stuff like that. And we as Indians don't do very out there campaigns and all of that. But the US doesn't care. Like, even if you see their comedy night, or the way they can roast the president, and they can do it.
I was about to talk about it. Now
Yeah.
that we've seen popular Indian shows getting
Oh, of course.
facing the brunt of it.
Yeah.
I mean, just wanted to now put the focus into the product segment. Like, is India ready for fun, loud, crazy marketing?
Um, I think one has to do it tastefully. Like, the issue that you talked about was just not. It's not funny in any society, right? Like, I do feel one can be provocative and yet be very classy. And I think you need to do a fine balance of that. Like, if you think about Saturday Night Live, it is the best show, and it's a very it's done very well. If you look at some of the really, really forward brands in the US, like you look at Rihanna's Fenty, and you look at all the Netflix. I mean, I don't know if you've watched. They have a couple of shows as well that you can watch how Fenty unfolded, right? And it is a very forward-thinking brand. It talks about inclusivity, talks about equality, talks about how beauty cannot mean any one thing to one person. Beauty is a very inclusive, equal subject, and everyone's beautiful. They represent that in a way in which it doesn't feel forced. But Rihanna also backs that up with the things that she stands for and all of that. It feels authentic. Like, they do a good job of making it feel authentic and tying to a value system that makes you feel something, right? She's talking to a particular population. Like, she would have a lot of transvestites on her show. She would have like a lot of, black people on the show. She'd have disabled people on the show. And the fashion industry had not seen that there are all kinds of beautiful, right? And I feel I think India has to evolve into being able to do campaigns that really make you feel something in your heart. A good example of people doing it really well is, Amul's ka cartoon. I think, like, they took, and I was telling somebody this, I'm like, Amul was the first person to market adolescents. Like, the whole country was talking about adolescents, right? And Amul did a really cute cartoon on it, And I said, like, who would have expected a legacy company to actually be the first one to talk about a Netflix series that everyone in the country was talking about,
Right.
and take a view on it, right? I think Tata Group does some really nice campaigns when it comes to like Tanishq. I remember them first showing the second marriage, or showing like
Breaking the taboos of the
breaking the
society.
taboos of society. I mean, yeah, that's the right articulation, right? So I think, is it possible in India? Absolutely yes. The taboos in our society are different from the taboos in the rest of the world, and I think some brands will do it, and I think will do a good job of doing it.
Do you see? Do you see the audience are changing, because like how the movies have a season for everything, the
Yeah.
ad campaigns also have, right? For example, there was a time wherein every other ad was probably touching on your emotions.
Yeah.
Now there are certain brands who will only talk to you through sarcasm,
Yeah.
through caricatures, like
Yeah.
yeah, on a current affair.
Yeah.
And there are few brands who don't want to do anything with the current affair,
Yeah.
because they are like, boss, I
Yeah.
don't want to take a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah.
So have you seen a change in the trend as to how the audience are thinking, what are they connecting to today,
Yeah.
and who basically calls the chart, and
Yeah.
how are you brands watching it, and
Yeah.
who's taking the first movers benefit here?
Yeah. See, I think politics and religion is always going to be sensitive in a country like ours. And there is enough scope for marketing leaving these two topics aside. It doesn't need to be politics or religion, We are the largest democracy in the world, and we house all kinds of people, right? And we have to be respectful that something can seem offensive to some, it might not be funny to somebody, right? So I think, leaving politics and religion aside, I do think we need to address this younger audience of India who's a lot more independent, whose value system is slightly different from ours. And we're not talking about basic value system about honesty and all that. That's not different. I actually think that as generations pass, people actually get more upfront and more honest and forthright and straightforward, which is actually good for society, right? But they also value having a work-life balance. They also value a certain all-roundedness to their life, finding deeper meaning in their life. It's
And they're
not.
not loyal, I hear. Is it true? I mean, is your opinion same on Gen Zs? Like
They're
they
very
keep-
loyal to my brand, so I mean, I wouldn't.
No, I meant with all due respect to Gen Zs. I meant in terms of not staying with one thing for a long time. Could be company, could be a behavior. In terms of
yeah.
choosing a brand, like even today, right? People don't believe in buying; they're all
Yeah.
renting it.
Yeah.
See your cabs, see your
Yeah.
furniture.
Those are character. I mean, those are character
okay.
society traits.
Got it.
Some societies believe that you've arrived in life if you have a house and you have a car.
That's what
That's
we were all
changed as a
fed.
yeah. That's changed as a society. Like, I don't think, and I think that is a society value system that has nothing to do. It's a set of people thinking collectively that we have changed the way we believe we are settled.
Okay.
Okay, and that's a group of people of a certain age group, right? But I think Gen Zs are loyal to things that they feel strongly about. So I think, if themes like equality, themes like celebrating independence, themes like celebrating a certain kind of freedom is probably a beautiful word. Like, I would say that, and true freedom really means having the ability and the power to live life on your terms. That's very valuable to younger people.
So today
And it's a beautiful value system. I've lived my life on that philosophy. So I identify with the fact that the true value of living a good life is to live it on your terms, to live a really free life. One must always live a really free life.
So you think today's Gen Z, they're
Yes.
driven by these as the end motto, like free life, live life on your terms, inclusivity,
Yeah. Yeah.
and freedom.
Yeah, and freedom to make your own choices. I mean, and to suffer the consequences, or bear
What's
the
that?
joys, whatever it is, right? Like, if you make your decision and you say that some job stresses you out and you jump a couple of jobs, it does impact your career, but you're making that conscious choice that you're okay to land where you are on your career, right? So I feel some of that. I mean, you make the choices, but you understand the consequences.
So it's a brand which's been around for 12 years, right? As a woman, right. So we have all these Women's Day quotes
Yeah.
to remember,
Yeah.
like, a woman with a voice
Yeah.
is by definition a strong woman and all of that, which
Yeah.
used to be like a very big thing 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But today slowly you see in 10, 5 are working, 5 women are working probably. Yeah, so that's the shift today. So what's it to be in business for a woman today as an entrepreneur?
Um, I think there's no better time actually to be a woman entrepreneur, because I think the whole ecosystem, and the entire, like, whether you talk about a retailer, everyone wants to support a woman-run business.
Why? Why now
I
and why
think
not then?
I think people identify with the fact that I don't know. For me, initially, we got placed as yoga bar in a lot of retail shops because people would say, "I want my daughter to do something like this someday," or it's a really great product for my family, and only a woman can think about how to make a product like this. So there would be a lot of that, right? And now, when even with government schemes, you get extra points if you're a woman. So, for example,
Explain. Yeah.
if I have a factory and
Mhm.
there are government subsidy schemes, like they reimburse like some portion of your capital cost,
Mhm.
because you're investing in capital to really grow the economy, right? So there are schemes, there are CGTMSE schemes, etc.
Mhm.
The government will actually give you points for being a woman, extra points,
Oh,
and there's a scoring system,
right.
and in that scoring system, you actually benefit. So
Tips for women now who are wanting to start their entrepreneur journey.
yeah, so there are loan documentation is better. You get extra points for whatever the central government guarantees. You get better position in grants. Retailers look to support you. Some customers actually buy from women-run businesses, because, and you talk about Gen Z, right? Like, all of this as a value system matters. Like, you will find a couple of people who will just say that if there was X business and Y business and I'm indifferent between which business I buy from, I will start looking at key values that I identify and want to purchase, and make my purchase decision based on it. So if one business is actually growing trees or doing something for the environment, if I had a choice between choosing between these two businesses, I will choose the business that more aligns with my value system.
What's your thought on greenwashing? It's basically like the sustainable products and all of that, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's a fad apparently. Like, let's say I have 10 SKUs.
Hmm.
There's only one that probably is taking that sustainability route or something, doing something for the environment, and I
Yeah.
play on that card, and that becomes my hero product, saying,
Got it. I don't know if there's a specific brand that you're talking about who's doing it, but I think
in general. Yeah.
in general, I think the environment needs to be focused on. Like, if you're asking me what plagues us as a society, I would say caring more for the environment should probably be on top of everyone's list, because I think resources are scarce, and we as human beings have taken so much from everything else that's part of the ecosystem, right? We've taken so much from animals, we've taken so much from our oceans, and I definitely think it has to be a number one priority for most countries to kind of fix, because otherwise, our job as a generation or a society is to leave the planet and leave the world a little bit better for the next generation. It's the way human beings have existed. Life has always gotten better for the next century of people who live on the earth, and if we continue behaving this way with the planet, we are going to do a grave injustice to the next generation. So yes, the environment is very, very important.
So, what does it mean for the packaging of the brand? Are you all seeing any pressure coming in saying that, okay, now, hey, listen, now with the plastic ban and a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
How has it changed for you all from that perspective?
See, there are no suitable alternatives in India. Like, for FMCG companies, and this point that you said about greenwashing, there is no way I can do paper packaging. I will get zero shelf life, and my products will have, it just won't sustain, because we are natural products. We don't put preservatives in our food, right? So our packaging, there has to be more incentives by the government to enable packaging companies to find alternatives to plastic. That job cannot be done by us. It has to be done by the companies that are selling to us packaging material. If they're able to sell packaging material to us that is sustainable, we as businesses will absolutely make the choice to buy packaging that's sustainable.
So, all of the packaging materials are all outsourced, is it?
Mostly no company will actually have a packaging
Yeah.
setup. No. The material as a whole, it's a very, very large, it's a big business.
So, all the printed stuff
Yeah.
comes and then the packaging happens at the factory.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were talking about how things are quite better today for women wanting
Yeah.
to start their entrepreneurial
I think
journey?
families are more supportive.
Mhm.
I think people have understood that so many women have seen their dreams, so one should support, because your support primarily actually comes from the family. Your family has to be okay and give you that, because entrepreneurship is like a journey like this, and without the support system of those immediately around you, it's very difficult to do that journey.
Suhasini, in 2025, right? Today, everybody is an influencer,
Hmm.
and every influencer is a brand.
Hmm.
Like they're launching their own merch, and So with this coming into the picture, um, I'm asking this question, keeping both the agendas in mind. How do I crack a product saying, okay, this might work? Like, how do I find the gap?
I think it has to come from what you like the most. I liked healthy food. I used to eat a particular way, and it was a marriage for me of yoga. And it's incidental that Anandita and me had already been practicing yoga for several years before that, right? An influencer should set up business in a line where the consumers are most interested on content with them. Like, for example, there are these set of brothers who recently fought Mike Tyson, right? Like, so they're the founders of the Prime drink, but they are hyper energy active people. Like, you will see them, they have a Netflix show now of the entire family, and you will see how they could definitely have been the ones who were Red Bull's ambassadors.
And they
So it
launched their own
made,
drink.
and they launched their own drink called Prime. And then you have like a film star or like a beauty influencer. It seems natural that they should do cosmetics. It seems natural that Kim Kardashian, given how much she's focused on her weight and this, that, and other, Skims seems natural for her, like to do innerwear that makes you look shapely and all of that, right? So I think I think Ranveer Singh can go great for a fashion brand because his fashion aesthetic is crazy compared to everybody else.
And also Kusha Kapila, she's launched her own.
Yeah, nude or some naked or something, I don't know. So I would say it has to mirror you as a human being, the things that interest you, and the things that resonate to your audience about you.
Oh, that's the formula here. It's not what
It's not a random.
it's not like what it is for you, or like wherein you have to see the gap in the market. What problem are you solving?
Yeah. No, even for us, it stemmed from the innate. Like, I didn't create a cosmetics brand because I'm not a consumer of cosmetics at all.
Clearly.
I've never worn, right? Like, I've never. So for me, it would have been. You have to feel something for the business that you're building. You have to feel like you're creating value. You have to have that passion. You have to have these ideas. And it can only come in something you're deeply interested in. Like, I'm the biggest, largest consumer of my own products. You have to be a consumer of your own products. How are you going to sell to somebody else if you can't sell to yourself and the family?
Now, once I start, right, the first 2 years, the testing time, do's and don'ts.
I think the biggest do's and don'ts when you start is have faith. Like, it's easier said than done. Believe that you'll be able to make this happen.
How do you believe?
I think reward yourself on the successes.
As in?
The first time a consumer says your product is great, truly understand what that means. It means you've created a product that somebody is willing to pay money for. Like, don't diminish your achievements. Like,
Your effort, right?
it's a journey, and there are going to be many things that are going to fall. There are going to be few things that really work. Make sure you really record the things that work
And focus on what's working, especially
rather
in the
than
first
what's not
2 years,
working.
huh?
Yeah. And make sure that you create a very stable environment for at home, because the best businesses need the comfort of going back, and being extremely at peace. And then what you should also do is make sure that you have a very stable, consistent family life, because that kind of really impacts your mental health. And there are lots of things that won't go well during your business.
Like,
Like, someday one
Things
funding won't come. You'll think something is closed, and then the investor will raise some issue on a due diligence. Some machine vendor will give you a machine that just doesn't work, and you'd have spent a lot of capital on it. And you'll discover that day that, listen, this person's absconding and is not going to return back my money.
All of that has happened?
Everything. I mean, this is normal business. Some customer will not pay you and they will send you a huge debit note and say that this was a marketing expense that we had agreed to. And then you would have budgeted for a certain cash flow to come and it won't come in. So business has a lot of, and then I think almost every entrepreneur I know has had that one moment where you don't know what cash you're going to use to pay the salaries next month.
Yeah. What was it for you? When was it for you?
I think there were, we were a bit well planned, but there were a couple of times where when our fundraisers got a bit delayed or there was a lot of stress. Even the whole acquisition process is not when a large company buys you, they want to make sure they're getting the right asset. And the whole process is quite grueling, right from the diligence to dealing with their finance team, to managing your team during the process, to making sure you negotiate the right things. During that time, if you don't have, like my mom was so nice to say that, listen, you have a house, you have food, why are you worried? If it goes through, it goes through. Doesn't go through, come back home. This door is always open, right? And that's very comforting. And the fact that, even my husband and sister were like, listen, we are okay with the outcome. If nothing comes out of it, it's totally fine. We all know that you tried your best. So I constantly get that. Like, everyone acknowledges that this is the best you could have done. We all know that you did your best. Now take care of yourself. You need enough number of people telling you take care of yourself. You should hear that enough number of times.
What's risk to you?
Risk? Risk is a definition that is very important to answer given the time of your life, given the time in your life. When I was 20, the answer is different. When I'm 30, the answer is different. At
Today
this
it is
age,
different.
today, anything that impacts my child is my highest risk. Not spending enough time with her is the most significant risk to my future well-being. I identify that.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing to rectify it. So once this transaction is done, what will take the most amount of time is making sure that I've made up for the time that I should have spent with her. And
how old is she?
she's now 5.5. Yeah, 5.5.
What's motherhood being an entrepreneur?
I think I envy. I should tell you this. When people ask me who I envy, I say I always envy my grandmom. My grandmom had 7 children. She lived to be close to 100. And right up to her last breath, her children loved her so much that, they were such a tight, they are still an extremely tight-knit unit. Like, I would always see my mum call all her siblings, and go and visit her mother every alternative day. And my grandmom got to be with her children throughout her life. And I think that's a beautiful way to live life. I think being surrounded by the people you love the most, living a long life where you haven't seen a casualty happen to people closest to you, I don't think you can ask for a bigger blessing. Like, when I lost my father, when I was like 28 or 26, I thought that there could not be a single human being in the world more miserable than me.
Yeah.
And because the pain is so real to you. And I don't think anybody can really express how they feel until they've lost a loved one. And I think people are very lucky. Like sometimes my friends would turn to me and say, you're so lucky given, where you are professionally. And I would say, but you have both your parents living. To me, that answer is so obvious. Like, why would you envy me? You have your entire family. Like, I don't have my dad. So I think we often underestimate the most beautiful, simple things that we have because we take it for granted. But you have to really see it from the lens of the person who's lost something that you have that is so valuable. And all the other things are all peripheral things. Like, they'll come and go. But you have to live your life with,
What did you take it to? Because I know when I lost my mom, I shut myself away from God.
I can imagine.
I got into anchor stitch kits, gardening.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I work, I guess. I kind of turned my energy.
So I was at LBS. I was at London Business School when I just got a call that my father is no more. For the longest time, I refused to acknowledge or talk about it. So if anybody would ask about my father, I would talk about it like as if, give vague answers, not really acknowledging that he's not there, to leave people with a doubt that maybe he's there, maybe he's not. because I would just not accept it.
Ready to accept it.
And I would work like a maniac. So I had my first price comparison website while I was still in college in my second year of MBA, where a lot of the senior professors in LBS were willing to fund it. So I had a commitment that they would invest about £100,000. So I built this website called Price Thou or something that compares the prices of, like, if you wanted a black t-shirt, it'll compare it from Debenhams and Marks and Spencer and throw out all the options of the cheapest 10 black t-shirts that you can buy in the UK market. So I think, and I'm not really a tech, I didn't understand tech at that point in time, but I think grief makes you do remarkable things, either really positive or it can really damage you personally. But the pain is real. I don't think that you ever truly get over the pain. I don't think you truly
I
get
think
over
you just
it.
get better dealing with it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Older, wiser, hopefully.
Yeah. I don't foresee a situation where I will ever forget. I don't.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah. So yeah, I think the most simplest things in life are often the most valuable. And that's why I go back to the story of my grandmother. I always envied her, because I felt like she had a large family and a family that she could always keep very much under her watch in some sense. And she never had a casualty happening to her. Like, her parents lived until she was very old. So her parents got old. Her husband lived a full life. All her kids are alive. During her lifetime, no casualty happened to them. And I think that's a beautiful gift.
Wow.
I think few people get to have that gift. So, I was deviating, but my answer to risk is, your risk is something happening to somebody very close to your circle. That's how I define risk. So, yeah. But if you're asking me professional risk, were you asking me professional?
I mean, whatever it means to you.
Yeah. For me, I think the risk is basically the health of loved ones.
Yeah, because you're like, metaphorically, if I have to call you a Puran Poli, the core is the heart, the cover is always whatever you come out to the outside world, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
which both has to be in sync
Yeah.
for it to
Yeah.
taste good. So
Yeah. I do. I do think that I have some sense of the things that matter and things that don't. I think the things that we often exaggerate in our head that it matters so much probably doesn't matter that much.
So how do you handle stress, and what is stress to you?
I'm not a very stressful person. I deal with stress by doing action. Like, my stress always deviates to how do I
Get out of the
get a
situation.
solution. What would I do to tell myself that I did the best job of handling the situation? Stress is an outcome of a bad situation. How do you deal with that bad situation? So my mind is it breaks it down. Then I have a set of action items. This is the best way I could have dealt with the situation. That's how I manage it. And if the answer is yes, I'm okay with the outcome. Then if the situation turns bad, despite what you did, it is what it is. You accept it. If you were able to do something out of it, then yeah, you got out of it. So it's no longer a stressful situation.
Why I'm kind of acting like a therapist here is
Okay.
try to understand the wall that you've built. Like, what are the blocks which
Yeah.
has made a wall today?
You mean why am I the person I am?
Right.
I would say I was gifted with a very good childhood. I would attribute 100 marks to my mom and dad. I think I felt loved most part of my life, and I think that's definitely a pillar.
What's most part of the life?
There are some points where, I think the points where you don't love yourself enough, you don't see it around with people. Like, if you can't see it for yourself, it's very unlikely you'll see it when other people love you. There are some phases in life where you won't be able to see the love from outside because you can't see the love within. Everyone goes through that, and that could be an issue.
So how have you, like, an introspection? How have you, retrospection, right? Yeah. How have you looked at life in your teens?
I was quite a nerd growing up. I used to enjoy studying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love dancing. So I feel like if I had to think about my teens, it was a lot about going out a lot because my parents were quite open to the idea that, you should have a good time. Even during your exams, you were allowed to. Like, I remember going for a salsa dance class while writing my exams. So they don't interfere. My parents were not the type who actually asked any of us to study too much. I think, and when you don't force, I think the best outcomes come when you guide but not really force. So I
Right.
didn't feel like anything was pressured. It just came from within, and that's why, the results were always fine.
Interesting. Where were you in that phase of your life? Which part of the country or where were you?
I always lived in Bangalore.
Oh, yeah.
I think I used to make this joke. You can never take a Bangalorean out of Bangalore. Um, I mean, it's just so comfortable, and people are so easy, and
Hmm.
I've always enjoyed living here. So I went to school in Cluny Convent, then went to National Public School in Ranagar. Then, of course, I did get admission into like all the ladies and the Shriram College of Commerce in Delhi, Stephens, to do economics.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad put his foot down and said, "Listen, um, you're too young to be, to leave home. You can do it for your postgrad, but I mean, not now."
Hmm. Now, getting the conversation back to yoga bar.
Hmm.
So I guess if I have to give an example of 4-5 brands, like Airbnb started as as a small idea to rent out air mattresses in a living room and grew into a global hospital company. Facebook, similar story, small college project, now a global social media platform, and Dollar Shave Club disrupted the razor industry, getting in the subscription
Hmm.
based business
Hmm.
model. What is a disruptor for an industry of yours, like industry like yours?
I think sometimes a disruptor can just be the first person
Mm.
doing a particular kind of business, right? Like, suppose you're the first person disrupting the food industry with a health and taste offering, which was where we sat.
Mm-hmm.
To disrupt today, I think you need to disrupt formats, you need to disrupt price point.
That's why the minis and the
Yeah.
price point.
Yeah.
What's the moat for yoga bar today? Because honestly,
I
today
think the best value for the consumer, your moat has to become your brand.
with too many brands today, if one has to look at a USP as to why does yoga bar stand apart from all of it, all the rest, what's the answer today, Suhasini?
I think it's the best value in a health food brand to the Indian customer. How to explain that is, if you had a Venn diagram, you'd have price, taste, health. We sit in the center of, like, we tick all the boxes. It's the best price, the best product from a value perspective. It's natural, it delivers X amount of protein, etc., no sugar, made with stuff from India, all of that. So I said price, value, and taste. Taste is the one that's debatable, because taste, people can have different preferences. You can't answer for everybody's taste.
Mm-hmm.
But at the intersection of all this is the secret sauce. If you ask me what's the secret sauce of a great brand, it has to sit at the intersection of stuff that is very valuable to a consumer.
So what's what's one feedback that you always remember coming in from your consumer
I
for
think
yoga bar?
I think the one consistent thing is, people said they would give it to their families. You know that people, a consumer might let go of things for themselves, but if they're recommending it to their families, the product has to be very good.
It's like the word of mouth, right? Like
Yeah,
that
very
you are
strong
giving
word of
it
mouth.
to somebody saying
Yeah,
that you
very
must try
strong,
that out.
very strong word of mouth.
What are the common myths of these health bars today, like, or the healthy snack section? Like, is there anything that you want to debunk the myths?
I think reading back of pack is very, very important. I think if your first ingredient is sugar, or the first three ingredients of a product are really important. I would say the last 5% is less important, but your first three ingredient has to be nutrient dense. What does nutrient dense mean? It needs to be a protein blend,
Mm-hmm.
then it can have dry fruit, then it can have grains. Then you know a product is healthy. So it's very influenced by what you read in the back of pack.
So today, what has changed? Yeah, in fact, I used to have this
20-gram one.
almond fudge. This is
Yeah.
my favorite
Yeah.
too. Uh, Strong starts here. So I see there are few additions in terms of a bar's packaging, also trying to motivate you to keep your discipline up there.
A brand has truly arrived when people have feelings towards it. They don't take a product because of what the product stands for. They take a product because they feel a particular way about the company, the product, the brand, right?
How do you make them feel?
Stories like that, motivational stories, having very happy colors. So our brand actually stood for happiness.
When I was
And we
my
did that by translating very positive quotes. Like during COVID, our muesli box on the top used to say, the most beautiful thing you'll see today is in the mirror. Or we would say, it's a difficult year, hope you're okay. So the brand talks to you as first person. The brand shows that it cares for you.
Right.
So you can't be a product company anymore. You have to sell feelings. Rather, you don't sell feelings, but you make people feel a certain way. Yeah.
It's not just the
Beautiful
product.
brands translate that. Like, I'll give you an example. A Rolex ad just makes you feel rich. They'll have a particular kind of car or a Louis Vuitton or whatever, right? Like, brands don't sell products, they sell feelings. Yeah.
So that's true even for an FMCG.
When the customer says they feel something for you, that's when the brand has been established. I would be in a much happier place when people say, I love Yoga Bar, I love everything that the brand presents, because we feel that the company makes us feel nice. I feel proud to hold a Yoga Bar in my hand. I want other people to see me consuming the brand.
What's the kind of doubts that people ask when it comes to health bars? One must be, is there sugar?
You said it. I think sugar, source of sugar,
Hidden sugar?
hidden sugars, and I think a lot of whether it's natural preservatives.
So when I see the nutritional fact, it says energy, protein, fat, saturated fat, MUFA, PUFA, omega-3, trans fat, cholesterol, total carbs, dietary fiber, added sugar 0, total sugar 15.5 grams. So when it says added sugar is 0 and the total
From
sugar
dates, from mostly dates. Yeah.
So why is that you all don't put dates there?
We write it in the ingredients, but date sugar is not. If you use dates and you grind dates and use it in your product, it's not declared under sugar.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why it's not an added sugar, but it's inherently a sugar. So
So how do you all maintain the freshness of the bar? Actually?
So I think the way you maintain freshness is the kind of ingredients and the processes that you use in those ingredients. We only buy fresh raw material from our suppliers. We have very strong rejection processes in our factory.
Like your biggest buy would be what ingredient?
Almond.
Huh?
We use almonds in all our products. We use whey protein in all of our products. So we make sure that the expiry date is like even if we claim 6 months of expiry, the actual expiry of the ingredients will be at least 1 year later.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So having very strong supply chain processes and using ingredients that don't subject themselves to reducing shelf life.
What's your take on the vegan, the gluten-free and the keto options that's slowly sprouting in the market?
It's all good. I think to be honest, Rashmi, all of Yoga Bar products are actually gluten free. They're all gluten free. Like we don't use gluten because I'm kind of gluten intolerant. And I actually think gluten is quite bad for the body.
Why?
Because I don't think the kind of gluten that grows today, and gluten essentially comes from wheat, maida and all of that. The way it's cultivated now actually causes severe allergens in the body. It's not cultivated the way our ancestors ate it. The mass production of gluten, the way wheat is cultivated now, a lot of people cannot digest it. Basically, gluten intolerance means that your body is not digesting that form of wheat or form of maida or whatever, right? Maida is essentially a residue of the wheat that's not properly processed. Like you take the residue and that's why they call it some refined wheat or something like that. So I think gluten-free is actually a very good move. Rice actually is very good. From an irritant point of view, rice actually causes the least amount of irritation in the body.
So how do you do competition analysis? Like today there are a lot of other brands coming in, right? So what are they playing on the USPs? And,
I think the most recent entrant is, of course, Ranveer Singh's brand, the Super U, the protein wafers. And we're going to launch our protein wafers because when you see competition do it and you see a lot of noise around it, You create a product that's somebody has created a market for, but you make a much better product. Like, of course, we are launching the protein wafers, but minus the maida.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how you kind of differentiate.
That's the second mover's benefit. Huh?
Mm,
Like, what is that the first one is not offering?
yeah,
How can I divert the crowd here? Okay.
yeah. Or even higher percentage of protein. That's a good differentiator as well. Like if somebody, like our shakes, for instance, there was only one other brand doing, I think, 20 grams of protein shake. We created a 26-gram offering because the whey protein, one scoop usually is between 24 to 26 grams of protein. So we said, let's give it in a ready shake form that after a workout, people can just drink it. So that's how you innovate. You don't have to create from scratch. Sometimes you can innovate. Our first set of products, the yoga bar that we launched, the millet bars and all of that, for the first 4 years, we just stuck to those products because we took 1.5 to 2 years just innovating on the product. Now, of course, there are more manufacturing units set up. The innovation is much faster.
About the shake, right? I also go to the gym. I see it's a cold coffee flavor. So shakes are usually they believe that it has to be fresh and all of that. So
Yeah.
what are the kind of doubts that people ask when it comes to protein shake which is ready to drink?
No, see, now your whey is processed food. Like anybody can say anything. Whey is not fresh out of a cow. It's not milk, right? It's not natural food. How does whey come? Whey comes because you use enzymes to separate milk and you use that in concentrated forms of protein. So whey happens in a factory. Like it's not. So you can't. To use that argument, in fact, I would argue that a protein shake is less processed than whey, simply because your protein also comes from the milk. So you have several. You have milk solids. Then you also have whey and all of that coming in to make your 26-gram protein shake. But whey is fully processed food, right? So,
Why
so
do you all think of that protein shake itself? Because, like I said, there is a protein curd here. There are a lot of other variants with the protein thing. What kind of got you all into the shake zone?
I think we were always a protein brand. Like all the categories, even in muesli, we have protein muesli. In oats, we have protein oats.
Right.
We launched a 20-gram bar. Then we launched a 10-gram protein bar. So we've always played in the protein category.
But this is more, is it skewed more towards the gym goers?
Yeah. No. Actually, people have started consuming protein a lot more. Yeah. A lot of people in my office actually consume the protein shake rather than drinking coffee in the morning.
Oh, it's like a little meal in itself.
Exactly. And I'm like, if you're drinking coffee anyway, might as well get some protein in.
So whom are you competing with when it comes to protein shake? Like, is it a...
You're competing with the whey manufacturers like the On and the Muscle Blaze of the world. And you're also competing against other milkshake companies like the Epigamias and the Raw Presseries of the world.
And not even the soft drinks, I mean, the cool drinks are not fighting with them?
No. Cool drinks are a very different price point. A 26-gram protein shake runs into like 100 to 150 rupees.
That's just 20-30 bucks.
Exactly.
By the way, how did you attract ITC's investment?
The first person to actually come and make the offer was Nestle. It was an inbound offer. And of course, when you're running...
inbound offer?
Nestle had been tracking us for a while. And they wanted to buy a brand in the breakfast category. So Nestle was the first one who actually said that, listen, are you interested in a strategic acquisition? Once Nestle did it, and then we started thinking maybe like you'll have synergies in distribution, etc. Once you decided to go down that path, you ran a full-blown process. Then you speak to everybody and get the best price on the table.
So why didn't that Nestle deal go through?
I think it was very close. I think Nestle and ITC was very close. We finally decided to go with ITC because ITC was okay with a wider portfolio of product. So Nestle wanted to grow only muesli and bars, but ITC was okay with muesli, bars, oats, protein shakes. And we felt that will take the brand to a much larger position.
So they were tracking you guys. So what was a yes moment like? Why did you say yes? Like usually people look for an exit, or is it that they have a better muscle power, or is it that, me being a woman, probably I might want to take a pause somewhere and then plug and play?
I think there's a natural process of evolution of a company. There was an recent acquisition even in the personal care space with Hindustan Lever, very large acquisition. Mm, I think we had reached a point where we needed somebody to help us grow, even in terms of distribution and all of that. I think the reasons to sell are quite a few. One is, of course, there's a certain course the company has run, and you need a certain kind of intervention to make it do the 3x journey or 5x journey or whatever it is that you want to do with the company, right? And that could be distribution support, it could be a certain kind of NPI support, new product development support, could be anything. Second, when you're a VC invested company, they have an 8-year time frame wherein you have to return the capital. You need to give them an exit because they have kept their money invested for such a long time and they need their returns, right? So the natural process, you either go IPO or you sell to a strategic. And of course, third is natural course of life, right? I mean, there is a certain, you might continue building the company even within a system like ITC, but you don't want to take the stress of running it every day.
Mm.
And we reach that point of fatigue or, just prioritizing other things in your life. So, yeah.
Any plans of expanding internationally?
We already started actually. We do Maldives, we do Nepal, we
You
do
mentioned, right?
UAE. And yeah, we might do a couple more countries.
What's the upcoming product innovation for Yoga Bar?
The protein wafers.
Like after that?
After that, might do protein laddus. Just before Diwali.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
So who plans all these products? Like, are you still involved?
Yeah. We entirely run the company right now as primary founders.
Okay.
So, it's all decided by us. We run as an independent office in JP Nagar. And we keep looking at things that are interesting. And that's how we decide.
So you guys are still the decision makers?
Absolutely.
And then what's the role of ITC then? It's just the distribution, scaling it up?
Yeah,
giving
primarily
wings.
distribution.
Primary distribution?
Yeah, GT.
General trade?
General trade, yeah.
What's a good differentiator from the other protein bars for Yoga Bar? Yeah.
I think it's fully natural. It's the only one that balances protein and fiber. And it's the least calories and the least sugar.
Oh. What's the best compliment you've got?
I think a lot of people have said that the brand feels like the most Googled question used to be, is Yoga Bar an Indian brand? Because we as Indians always associated quality with something that's from the US.
Okay.
So when we launched, most people would not believe it's an Indian brand. I think that's a compliment.
I have a set of questions like
Rapid
most
fire.
Googled on Yoga Bar, like most Googled about Yoga Bar. What is Yoga Bar?
It's a health food company.
Is Yoga Bar healthy?
Very healthy.
Why is it healthy?
Because it's the best combination of protein, fiber, and least amount of sugar.
Is Yoga Bar good for weight loss?
It depends on what you're substituting. If you're somebody who's eating broccoli, then no. But if you're eating a samosa, then definitely yes.
Is Yoga Bar suitable for diabetes?
Some products, yes. The no sugar varieties.
So does Yoga Bar contain sugar?
Some products.
Are Yoga Bars only for gym goers?
No, definitely not. It's for general health and wellness.
Main ingredients in Yoga Bars?
Is the form of protein, whether it is whey protein or whether it's pea protein or whatever. Then it has dry fruits, almonds, raisins, etc. and whole grains. Whole grains is the third ingredient.
What's that?
Whole grains are like millets, like jowar, bajra, ragi, all of that.
Today we're talking about pea protein and whey protein. There's a big debate, right? The debate is basically, is your protein original? Is it legit? Now there is another debate about, okay, pea and whey. What are your reflections about these?
See, I think products should be, you should go with a brand you trust, because you need to have very authentic protein products and it should not be amino spiked and all of that, right? But I think the debate between pea and whey protein, I would definitely say get your protein. because everyone needs protein. I think the first step is actually identifying how you're going to fulfill your protein requirement for the day. Then we can debate what are the best forms.
First, get it
Get
right.
get it right, And of course, the most natural forms of protein are the best. Like eggs are the best. Getting lean fish is the best. Getting milk is very good, unless you're lactose intolerant. And then if you can't fulfill it with natural sources, then move to your protein powders.
Got it. Personal choice, whey or pea?
Whey, because it tastes better. Pea is easier on the gut though.
Is yoga bar vegan?
No, because we use honey and we use whey. Both are animal derived products.
Yoga bar is gluten free?
Yes, it is.
How much protein does yoga bar contain? One is 20, one is 10.
Oh, it depends. It's written on the pack, so we have varying degrees
now
from
you
4
have these
4
also.
grams also to
4 to 20, yeah?
4 to 26. The protein shake is
right,
26.
Right. The bar is 4 to 20. The
Yeah.
shake is 26. That's your
26, yeah.
highest concentrate.
We sell whey powder also.
Oh,
So
yeah?
whey powder is also like I think 26 grams of protein.
So you
per
all
serving.
started that also?
Yeah.
When?
January,
Ah. So what are the boxes like?
1 kg boxes. We sell plain WPC, WPI, and then the flavors.
What's WPC, PI? So what's
WPI is whey protein isolate, which is the purest form of protein, but very expensive. WPC is whey protein concentrate. And then we sell the flavors. So we sell coffee flavored protein powder. We sell kesar pasta, badam. We sell chocolate.
wow?
Because protein is not easy to eat. So to make it more tasty.
Kesar pista badam is like, is it a unique flavor only you all have, or
No.
even
There are a few
market has,
brands.
huh?
Yeah, market has it.
Are yoga bar products organic?
No. There are very few products in India that are organic certified because the entire value chain has to be certified as organic.
What should I look for it as completely organic?
You'll find very few. I don't think there's anything on the shelf that is a composite of products that's actually organic. Like we sell organic chia seeds, we sell organic sunflower seeds. But a composite of products, it's very difficult to get organic whey. How do you get that certificate?
So it's again organic washing, like people use it as a buzzword, and it's sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
Yoga bar, does it have artificial preservatives?
No. It
What
has
is
no
the
preservatives
preservative
at all.
that
At all.
you
No.
guys don't use
No.
anything at all?
No.
Like nothing?
No.
So I see the pillow effect. So that's the
That's just putting to increase the shelf life. You kind of put air in, like you flush nitrogen because nitrogen helps to kill microbes. Because the food is natural, it doesn't have preservatives. That's why you flush it with air.
which is your top selling yoga bar
The first product we launched is the millet bar that we have.
next best?
Is probably the 10-gram bar.
What's like the underdog?
Maybe the Chocos. The Chocos is a really good product, but we were never able to scale it. Because I think marketing to kids is a whole different talent.
Marketing it to the kids, huh?
Kids, yeah.
Why?
So the Chocos is a 70% millet based product and it never worked.
You need the taste, huh?
It was quite tasty. Still don't know why it didn't work.
Yoga bar helps in muscle building?
Yes, because protein helps in muscle building. So long as you absorb the protein.
Is it bad to eat 2 bars back to back?
Not back to back 10-gram bars, but 20-gram bars will make it very difficult. A
the
single
body
serving
to-
should not exceed 20 to 25 grams.
Yoga bar products are FSSAI
Of
approved.
course.
Should yoga bar be my first source of protein? Like you already
No.
mentioned.
No, I think your first source of protein should always be natural sources. We don't sell to consumers by telling them that I will advise you the same way I would advise my family. Finish all your natural sources and then use packaged
So
food.
ideally, this should be like my emergency.
Not emergency, but say all your natural sources were 40, fill your gap.
1 a day. So no artificial sweeteners also, right?
No.
How about the food allergies? Is it safe for people with food allergies?
I think people who are celiac is fine. Celiac, gluten free is fine. But if people are lactose intolerant, no.
Is yoga bar good for digestion?
Yes. Because it has high fiber.
Can this be eaten as a small, like a meal replacement?
Yes, for sure. That's how I eat it every day.
Does it help in managing cholesterol levels? Yoga
Yes,
bar?
because it has good fat.
What should one's understanding be about trans fat?
That you should have all zero trans fat products. You should never have trans fat in your food.
What is the trans fat? The
It's
ideal
like using like hydrogenated fat. Like it's the stuff, it's the kind of fat that actually blocks
the heart.
you block the arteries, So how does cholesterol develop? It starts thinning your veins and that's how it affects the blood flow to your heart because the walls become thinner and thinner. That's how cholesterol keeps padding up on the walls of your heart. Bad cholesterol does exactly that. Like a trans fat, you can never eat trans fat. In fact, I think it's banned in most countries.
I think 20-25 years ago, all your palm oil.
Exactly. So they used to use hydrogenated palm oil, which is also cancerous. Now there's a ban. You can't use hydrogenated palm oil.
Is yoga bar safe for pregnant women?
Yes, because I used it during my pregnancy to fulfill my protein requirement. Protein is very important during your pregnancy.
I mean, today the world is saying protein is good for everything, right? Collagen, everything. So, does yoga bar cause bloating or stomach issues?
Not really, no. But it depends on each individual's gut. Some people's gut cannot digest a certain level of protein, and then I would say use a bar that has lesser protein.
Start with your minis
or something.
Tens. Can yoga bar be used as an energy bar?
Yes.
Can it be consumed before workouts or
Yes,
like
of
after
course.
workouts?
Both times is fine.
Both the time. Can it control blood sugar levels?
It can't control blood sugar levels, but it will not spike your blood that much because it comes from natural sugar. And it has very little sugar and it has a good quantity of protein and fiber. Usually when you have very high protein and high fiber foods, the blood sugar spike is not very high. But it does not control, like it cannot remedy high sugar in your blood. Like that it can't do.
Lastly, I guess, women and business, it's not just a trend. It's the necessity, they say. Any word of advice for women entrepreneurs or women wanting to explore the journey this way?
You should definitely do it. It's a great experience. I think it comes back to that point that I said, right? Living a life of freedom with the sole conviction that you can be anything you want to be and achieve anything you want to achieve is a great way to live life. And that's why women should dream and you should make your dreams happen. And you should feel like you have the power to make those dreams happen. So, yeah, I think there's no better time in history where women have been more powerful, and it's a great time to actually make those dreams come true.
Any tips on increasing your confidence?
I think confidence comes from appreciating for yourself who you are as a person. So find things to appreciate yourself about. And that's how confidence builds. Like you have to, that we go back to that point, right? You can only truly be loved or feel love when you love yourself. You can only project that you're worthy when you feel worthy.
So you can only pour something when you have something in the cup.
You have to fill yourself up before you
pour it. You can't
to
pour
the world
with an empty cup, right? So So lastly, how was this, Suhasini? Last time you were on our Kannada podcast, and now here you are.
So much more comfortable because it's a language I'm more comfortable with. But always warm, Rashmi. Like it's always feels like talking to a friend. Doesn't feel like you quizzed me so much. Actually, nobody's quizzed me so much on my products. But yeah, it didn't feel like an interview. It felt like a friend asking me, should I not?
Of course, that's definitely the lens
Yeah.
at which I have looked at. Just being a bridge between the audience
Yeah.
and the founder here.
No,
So
thank you.
on the personal front, so what's happening with life?
I think, yeah, a good place in general. Very happy mentally. Excited to live out the next 10 years.
What are you
That's
looking forward to? Like,
travel.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of travel, a lot of experiences actually.
whatever you missed
Yeah, and a lot
being
of
on the
things.
treadmill.
Yeah, yeah, you could summarize it that way. Yeah,
So,
but also picking up hobbies along the way,
what are you
learning
into
to
now?
play the piano, learning a new language, stuff like that.
So now that the handover has happened,
No, there's another 1 year, and then there'll be some more time for the handover, and after that, I think.
what's your association going to be with them then?
I think I would still want to be consulted on what's best for the brand, because it'll always feel like yoga will be such a big part of my life, right? And you would always want to see it grow and to reach that level that I dreamed for the brand. And you always want to peek over your shoulder and see that the person who took it is doing the right thing. So, yeah.
Planning to have more babies as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you don't even know
Never
what
say
life
never,
holds. Yeah,
right?
never say never.
So keep going.
Yeah.
And I guess until next time, what do we give you? For a person who's given protein to the world through the bar, now through the shake, let me add something to your kitchen this time. This is a book,
Wow.
Keto
Okay.
Basics, which has
Perfect.
some 50 recipes.
The new bars are keto based, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Like
Keto is basically
fat base? Oh.
keto is basically you can eat very very protein rich foods.
Okay.
And like when you eat cheese or you eat paneer, you can eat fat, but you can't eat any carbs. So that's basically what the keto diet is.
Good. I wonder, like, what's your next, what do you call the category? Shake is done. Wafers now.
Now we'll try to
bar.
do the sweet category and say how
Laddu
can we
you
make
said,
the
right?
sweets protein
Now you want to
rich.
get into the festive
Yeah. In
segment
advance.
as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. So while I sign this for you, could you nominate 3 guests whom we should host on Just Curious English?
Host Shantanu Deshpande. Figure out. He has a lot of interesting things to say about everything, but I would love to see him as the guest. And being quizzed so that he knows what it feels like. Definitely get Nikhil Kamath on the show. I think he's a true blue Bangalore boy, so I think it'd be nice to have him. And I think Lalitav Groh, although he's a very private person, would be a nice guest.
Good suggestions there. Let me write something for you.
Yes.
I know while I'm writing this, you're the mother in you is
Yes.
already thinking of the daughter there. What have you named her?
Arya.
Arya? This episode's dessert partner is Polar Bear. Polar Bear, the ice cream sundae zone. Polar Bear is now present in 160 outlets, 30 cities, and in 5 states. If you're a vegetarian, that too 100% vegetarian, Polar Bear is for you. The menu has 40 plus ice cream sundaes, and all the ice creams are made from pure milk. What are you waiting for? Visit and keep sharing the Sunday love. So that was the story of Suhasini as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as somebody who's just explored life through everything she's wanted. So, how was the conversation? Do let us know your aha moments, probably moments wherein you went like, oh, okay, is this how I should be looking at life? Or, hey, wait, I didn't think of that before, whatever it means to you. Do let us know in the comment section. And yes, until next time, continue to stay curious and do send us your recommendation as well as to who would you like to nominate to see on the hot seat. Whatever seat that you want it to be, if it is an entrepreneur seat or if it is a spiritual leader seat, politician seat, musician seat. Yeah, it's a very big chair waiting people from all walks of life to be sat on. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Suhasini. How was it for you? I mean, lastly, this is me taking multiple pauses. Not so rapid Rashmi in English, but yeah, how was Just Curious English for you?
Loved it. Really enjoyed it. And you've kept it real, so Always do that with all your podcasts.
Thank you. Until next time, take care and cheers.
Welcome.
Bye.